Hey, what's up? I'm back with some comic reviews, and without further ado, let's get down into it. I got 5 books from this week, but 3 which I only feel like talking about because 2 of them were okay. Let's get things kicked off with Daredevil issue 6 in Daredevil versus the Bruiser. Yeah, this is going to be a badass fight. So basically, to recap what we got going on, we got Matt Murdock defending a young blind kid named Austin Ko, I believe, in a wrongful termination suit, and then that wound up turning into a little bit of an espionage thing. Daredevil is mostly using his head throughout the course of this fight, and even after defeating the Bruiser. It's basically a Marvel version of Batman vs. Bane, except it's almost like Nightfall, except Daredevil didn't get hurt. And with the way that Mark Waid has been handling Daredevil, I am certainly willing to forgive Shadowland for ever happening. The tone of the Daredevil, it's nice to see Daredevil written with, kind of on the sunny side of life. And he's going up against the Bruiser, but, this isn't like the bad guys that he's had a degree of difficulty taking down. Apparently somehow this guy, Daredevil, can't focus in exactly on his center of gravity. So it kind of makes it harder to take down Bruiser. But when all is said and done after dealing with Bruiser, you got a nice big old Mexican standoff with Matt pretty much grabbing Hydra, AIM, and all the other terrorist organizations that are on this yacht by the balls. Saying that, you can either shoot your way out of this, or you can pretty much do what I say and just let us go for now. And what transpires throughout this book is really good. Waid has definitely got a damn good handle on Matt Murdock, and he even uses a little bit of his attorney tactics to get out of situations, talk himself out of it. It's good seeing a hero talk his way out of it. Like with most books, somebody bullshits their way out of some situation with a talk at the end of a big brawl. Here, this actually kind of makes sense. And it doesn't treat the reader like they're stupid either, which is something that's always welcome in my book. All in all, it's a pretty solid issue. Daredevil number 6, I give this one 4 out of 5 cold ones. Excellent read all around. Wolverine number 19, written by Jason Aaron. Now, this continues to be an excellent read as well. Given the reviews of Wolverine Goes to Hell, which I did, and, all the stuff that he's been through in this series that Aaron has been written, we take kind of a moment to stop and just have a few laughs at something and give us a little bit of lividity for all the dark stuff that Wolverine has gone through. Wolverine has been fighting dragons, and this is actually the concluding issue to the Goodbye Chinatown arc. Wolverine is fighting dragons with the reluctant help of Gorilla Man and a giant sumo wrestler whose name that I cannot remember. He's fighting dragons, he's fighting opium dealers, and it's just a good old-fashioned slugfest and, slasherama all the way around. And meanwhile, while this is happening, Wolverine's girlfriend Melita is seeking employment, and she comes to find a job at a common place of employment within the Marvel Universe. And, considering all the stuff that Wolverine's been through, in the last year or so, he's been sent to hell. He's, had his soul brought back out, and he's had to fight the fellow X-Men at the same time that he's got demons inside of his head. He's had a bunch of guys who have been conspiring to kill him for the last year now through Machiavellian schemes, and he's even been forced to kill his own kids. But, given all that he's been through so far, we needed a period just to stop and, have a few good laughs, and you're definitely going to have this in here. It's just some good old-fashioned fun. A little bit on the violent side, and it's not too over the top with its shock value to where I'm turned away by it. So, Wolverine number 19, give this one a solid 4.5 out of 5 cold ones. And I said that I had 3 books that I was talking about. Let me give a rundown on the other 2 real quick before I get to my pick of the week. Ultimates number 4 by Mr. Jonathan Hickman. This concludes dealing with the Children of Tomorrow. The book is good. I'm not going to deny that. The writing has been pretty solid, but the reveal at the end is interesting, but the Ultimates has just been probably my least favorite out of all the titles that they've launched so far. Hawkeye, when the Hawkeye miniseries finished, I pretty much put it on about the same level as this, with Spider-Man pretty much taking the lead, and Ultimate X-Men taking a close second. We got Thor facing off against the Children of Tomorrow in sort of a suicide mission, and we get all these crazy reveals towards the end of the issue, which kind of set up some interesting stuff that may happen yet in the Ultimates book. It's the first Ultimates ongoing, which they've had in here, so that's pretty interesting. But all in all, it was an okay issue to me. Nothing really to write home about, but it's alright. Much the same way with X-Men Legacy number 259, this starts the half-a-step storyline now. Rogue is trying to figure out where to go after the divorce has happened in between Cyclops and Wolverine over the X-Men teams. Meanwhile, while she's having this conflict of interest, we have a strange mutant presence which has been brought back from the space station, which her, Magneto, Gambit, Polaris, Havoc, Rachel Summers, and a couple of others have joined up. And if you read Legacy on a regular basis, the reveal is a little bit predictable. It's not without being a little bit fun, but again, slightly better than Ultimates, but this issue was still okay. This is only the first book in a new story arc. I wasn't generally impressed by it in the long run, but it was still pretty good. I can imagine doing worse things with my money. But my pick of the week, and probably for most improved title over the course of this year, or at least one of them, I'm going to have to give to Mr. Kieran Gillen on the Uncanny X-Men from the Marvel relaunch. This is one that I was not crazy about, which was unnecessarily canceled and then swapped back over to the one spot. But apparently this gave Kieran Gillen a chance to get his shit together. He's doing some terrific writing on this. Reading this issue is very much like watching the second and third Matrix films. To recap, we have this big-ass Celestial standing in the middle of San Francisco, and Sinister comes along and whops off its head and somehow hooks it up, and now we have the Sinister Matrix going on, where everybody in there kind of, you know how, like in the last Matrix movie, everybody started looking like Smith? This is pretty much that. And Cyclops and his Extinction team are out there battling all of the Sinister clones, and Sinister is pretty much laying out his giant Machiavellian scheme for the Celestial. At the same time, however, we have kind of a couple of problems going on here besides Sinister monologuing through two-thirds of this issue. Normally this would be a complaint from me, but it does come in handy on a couple of points which I'll get to shortly. In the meantime of what's going on, we have a much larger threat which is on a collision course with Earth, and Sinister only seems to be the appetizer right now. He's got again, when I said this is kind of like the Matrix, slight spoiler, this is also a little bit of him doing what Agent Smith did, or what the agents do in the Matrix when one of their bodies or one of their avatars dies. There are some, Sinister takes a really good shot at Emma Frost in this issue, and pretty much down Cyclops as, comparing Cyclops to himself and saying that you had a much superior mate in Jean Grey than you ever did with Emma Frost, which, he did call that right, but, I can't hardly think of anybody that likes Emma. The only reason I like her is just because she's drawn hot. But, we have a good couple of in-jokes, too, that are taken at Sinister's expense. One done by Hope, which is pretty funny, which concerns the target, which is, painted in the middle of Sinister's head, and she's getting ready to take a sniper shot at him. She's wondering why the hell this guy's got that in the middle of his forehead. But, all kinds of craziness going on in here. We've got some really good fights taking place, and it's a solid issue. Well done, Mr. Gillian. You've kind of redeemed yourself a little bit in my eyes. And that does it for my pick of the week. I give this one a good 5 out of 5 cold ones. Well done, Mr. Gillian. And that pretty much does it for my comic reviews for this week. Please leave all questions and comments. Feedback is always appreciated. And until next week, I will catch you guys later on. So until then, have a good one.